Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Season 2 of The Investigamer. I've got a lot of bullshit, third-rate, cockamamie, dick-sucking, ass-munching, shovelware games to review this year, but none so highly awaited with curiosity as Techland's Dying Light. For those of you who aren't in the loop, Dying Light was made by the same developer behind the controversial zombie franchise, Dead Island. Yes, the very same Dead Island from my Dead Island Riptide review. Remember how I loved that game. In any case, Dead Island was controversial for two reasons. Number one, critics hated it, and number two, false advertising, guys. False fucking advertising. Honestly, when Dying Light was announced, I thought it was gonna be a sequel or perhaps a successor to Dead Island. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Dying Light is a brand new franchise, and Dead Island is a continuing franchise, with a sequel coming out soon. Yay. The plus side to this news is that Techland started from scratch with this game, like a batch of cookies. They promised to deliver that tense, story-driven survival game that we've been asking for all those years, ever since Dead Island disappointed the living shit out of us. Did they succeed with Dying Light? Let's take a look. Before we begin, I'd like to tell you a few things I remember from Dead Island. First of all, it was not scary, not intense, and really gave you no reason to believe you were surviving the zombie horde on your own wits. It featured near constant and highly repetitive melee combat that seemed to never fucking end. Dying Light, on the other hand, is more conscientious about its gameplay style. There's far, far more control over the skills of your character, and making quick decisions like which building to scale, where it's safe to travel, and what combat style you should be using is a huge part of the game this time. For the first 6 or 7 hours, I felt somewhat helpless and exposed. I died a lot due to my own error and eventually built the skills necessary to survive more and more effortlessly. Running on rooftops, scaling tall buildings, finding a safe house when the night is approaching. All of it becomes intensely fluid the longer you play this game. The only problem is, around hour 10 or 12, things just kinda drop down a bit, and that halfway decent survival theme we were spending several hours building, yeah, it gives way to pretty much just action and gunplay for the rest of the game, and things just become a whole lot easier. But is that altogether a bad thing? I mean, don't get me wrong, I love survival games, and we need a whole lot more of them, but doesn't it get kinda boring playing the same survival game for 10 or more hours? Eventually, I do find myself wanting a break and wanting some fast-paced material to get my adrenaline going again. And that, my friend, is why Dying Light's campaign gets a thumbs up from me. It builds your skills and your patience with 6 to 8 hours of pretty cautionary gameplay, and then it just kind of takes off the training wheels and lets you go bananas for the last half of the game. I mean, yeah, the parkour and free running are really well designed, and yes, the combat has never been more entertaining, and yeah, even the shooting is better. But in the end, what really impressed me was the mix of both worlds Dying Light achieves. It may not be that super deep survival RPG we all dream of playing, but in the end, it brings enough to the party for both worlds. And by the way, I'm sure you've already noticed that it looks a hell of a lot better than Dead Island. Which is expected. I mean, it is a fully next-generation game, and God knows we need more of those. It even runs fabulous on the PC. Well, for the most part anyways. I had the game running at 30 to 40 frames per second with max settings, but when I disabled this one option, HBAO+, I immediately started getting a smooth 60, so I would recommend you do just that. Don't worry though, HBAO is not a deal breaker. It honestly is pretty hard to notice a difference. You probably won't miss it. But what about the narrative side? I mean, that was the weakest link with Dead Island, clearly, and it's a hard business to master. But you'd be surprised what you can pull off when you have a central protagonist who actually talks. That's right, we have a central protagonist whose name is Kyle Crane. Just rolls off the tongue, don't it? Kyle Crane is an overwhelmingly good guy who begins the game as an agent of a shady organization but ends the game as a humanitarian savior who truly deserves the mantle of badass. He is Superman on fucking crack, okay? A lot of people, including Total Biscuit of YouTube fame and personal admiration, have dismissed this character as a generic do-goody. I fucking hate that term. It's so fucking stupid. I mean, being a good person is now an indesirable character trait. How does that make the character less interesting just because he's aligned to good? Whatever. Anyways, he does look basic. He looks bland. He's a generic, brown-haired, athletic, white dude. Yeah, I know. But he is anything but normal. He is courageous. Just listen to this guy talk.
Do it! Fuck you, asshole. You want me to make my own rules? Rule number 1, you're gonna spend the rest of your goddamn life in fucking agony.
Plus, there are real moral dilemmas that are faced in this game, and Kyle confronts each of them and makes his own decision based on logic and moral ground. He not only risks his own life to save countless thousands of others, but he also confronts his superiors when faced with an order he cannot obey. He stands up to authority. And if that is not the makings of a good moral character that teaches proper fucking values, then I don't know what is. This guy deserves to be respected as a solid protagonist. I don't care what Total Biscuit said about him, alright? I'm also super pleased to admit that Dying Light is just an all-around more polished product than either Dead Island games. I maybe ran into 2 or 3 bugs over the course of the game, which is a dramatic reduction from before. You can tell Techland is getting better at quality testing their products. Well done, guys. Honestly, well fucking done. As with all games, there is a downside. And here's where things get tragic. First of all, it doesn't matter how populated you make a virtual city if all the fucking inhabitants look alike. Really, guys, how many outfits did you put together for these zombies? Huh? How many variations? 6? 8? It feels like I'm seeing double. Oh yeah, cause I fucking am! But hey, the main character's a super cool guy that's easy to love, right? Unfortunately, all the other characters might as well be made of moldy cardboard. Who did you get to voice these people? Apart from 3 or 4 essential characters, the acting is very obviously a byproduct of too much Ritalin. And for the love of God, did we really need breakable weapons again? Do I really need to repair these fuckers every 15 minutes? And did you have to go a step fucking further and make weapons break permanently after using them a few times? Because I certainly don't. I think that Borderlands and Elder Scrolls and Fallout are doing just fine without breakable fucking weapons. It is 2015. Would you please get a clue? Not only that, but numbers. When will games end the onslaught of comparing fucking number values? It's tedious, it's autonomous, and it's math. I play video games to escape math, not to look at numbers all fucking day. Can we stop making this such a common thing? It is driving me crazy putting numbers in my head at night as I sleep. Oh, but you can't have a zombie RPG without tedious fetch quests. Please tell me those are in the game still, right? Right, those are in the game, right? There it is! How did I fucking guess? I am not a beagle. I'm not a fucking dog. I'm not here for you to just send to go fetch shit for you. 10 cow turds. Go kill 20 chimichangas. It's just math again. It's just fucking numbers. In my head, that's all that is. There's no actual thought going into this like Oblivion, where, for instance, they send you in this house and they have you convince people to kill one another. That involves psychology, manipulation, illusion, and a whole plethora of different things that are going on in the story arc. Dying Light is a good game. It's honestly a really good game. It's better than Dead Island and better than Dead Island Riptide. But it's not amazing. It looks amazing, it has plenty of new tricks, but it's not a totally different game, like I hoped it might be. A step in the right direction, of course, but you need to do more, Techland. You just gotta. You've got a good concept going here, and I think with just a little bit more effort, just a little bit more understanding of what your fans want from you, you can accomplish something incredible. I believe in you. You can do it. Dying Light receives a borderline 4 out of 5 from me. If you like Dead Island, you will definitely like this game. If you didn't like Dead Island, give it a try. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below, where questions and comments are always welcome. I'm the Investigamer. Never trust the crowd, only the investigation. And may I just say, it is good to be back, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. I promise I'll make it worth your while. Until next time.